Who's Ted Bundy?
Welcome to Dark Chronicles SL, where we venture into the depths of true crime, unraveling the stories that send shivers down your spine and keep you questioning the very nature of humanity. Today, we're diving into the twisted tale of a man whose name has become a symbol of terror, Ted Bundy. Imagine a man so charming, so intelligent, and so seemingly normal that he could blend into any crowd. A man who could smile at you, earn your trust, and then reveal himself to be a monster. This is the story of Ted Bundy, a serial killer who defied every stereotype, evaded capture for years, and left a trail of unspeakable horror in his wake. But how did Bundy become the face of evil? What dark forces shaped his childhood and what drove him to commit such heinous acts? How did he manage to outsmart law enforcement time and time again, and what finally brought him to justice? In this video, we'll peel back the layers of Bundy's life, exploring his disturbing upbringing, his calculated methods of manipulation and murder, the innocent lives he destroyed, and the relentless pursuit that ultimately ended his reign of terror. This isn't just a story about a killer, it's a story about the fragility of trust, the masks people wear, and the darkness that can hide behind a charming smile. So, if you're ready to step into the mind of a monster, to uncover the truth behind the legend, and to explore one of the most chilling chapters in criminal history, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because the darkness doesn't end here. Let's begin. Ted Bundy is one of the most infamous serial killers in American history. His crimes, charm, and manipulative behavior have fascinated and horrified people for decades. To understand Bundy, we need to explore his childhood, his killing methods, his victims, and how he was eventually caught. Here's a detailed explanation. Ted Bundy was born Theodore Robert Cowell on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. His mother, Eleanor Louise Cowell, was unmarried at the time of his birth, which was highly stigmatized in the 1940s. To avoid scandal, Bundy's grandparents raised him as their son, and he grew up believing his mother was his sister. This deception likely contributed to his feelings of instability and identity confusion. Bundy's grandfather, Samuel Cowell, was described as abusive and tyrannical. Some speculate that Bundy may have witnessed or experienced violence, which could have influenced his later behavior. However, Bundy himself denied being physically abused. Bundy never knew his biological father. His mother later married Johnny Bundy, who adopted Ted, but their relationship was distant. Bundy felt disconnected from his stepfather and resented his lack of a strong male role model. As a child, Bundy exhibited disturbing behavior, such as surrounding his sleeping aunt with knives. While this doesn't necessarily predict future violence, it hints at his fascination with control and harm. Despite these early red flags, Bundy was intelligent and charismatic. He was a good student and well-liked by peers, which allowed him to mask his darker tendencies. Why did Ted Bundy become a killer? The exact reasons for Bundy's transformation into a serial killer are debated, but several factors likely contributed. Bundy displayed traits of psychopathy, including a lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and a desire for control. He also had a fascination with violence and pornography, which may have fueled his fantasies. Bundy was deeply affected by a breakup with his college girlfriend, Stephanie Brooks. She came from a wealthy family and ended their relationship because she felt Bundy lacked ambition. This rejection may have triggered his hatred toward women and his desire to dominate them. Bundy had an inflated sense of self-worth and believed he was smarter than everyone else. This arrogance drove him to commit crimes, believing he could outsmart law enforcement. Bundy's killing methods. Bundy's modus operandi, MO, evolved over time, but his methods were calculated and brutal. Bundy often used his charm to gain the trust of his victims. He would pretend to be injured, e.g. wearing a cast or using crutches, and ask for help, luring women to his car. Once the victim was close, he would overpower them, often using a weapon or blunt force trauma. 3. Control. Bundy would restrain his victims and transport them to secluded areas, where he would assault and kill them. 4. Post-mortem violence. Bundy frequently revisited his victims' bodies, engaging in necrophilia. He also decapitated some victims and kept their heads as trophies. Bundy's crimes were marked by extreme violence and a complete lack of remorse. He targeted young women, often those with long, dark hair parted in the middle, who resembled his ex-girlfriend Stephanie. Bundy's victims? Bundy confessed to 30 murders across 7 states between 1974 and 1978. But the actual number may be higher. Some of his most notable victims include Linda and Healy, a University of Washington student who disappeared from her bedroom in 1974. Bundy later admitted to killing her. Donna Gail Manson, a student at Evergreen State College who vanished in 1974. Georgian Hawkins, a University of Washington student abducted in 1974. Janice Ott and Denise Naslund. Both were killed at Lake Sammamish State Park in Washington in 1974. Their disappearances led to the first composite sketch of Bundy. Karen Campbell, a nurse abducted from a Colorado ski resort in 1975. The Chi Omega sorority house attack in 1978, Bundy broke into a Florida sorority house, killing 2 women and severely injuring 2 others. Kimberly Leach, a 12-year-old girl abducted from her school in Florida in 1978. She was Bundy's youngest known victim. How police caught Ted Bundy. Bundy's capture was a result of both his arrogance and the persistence of law enforcement. Bundy was first arrested in 1975 in Utah for attempted kidnapping. Police found suspicious items in his car, including handcuffs and a mask. While in custody in Colorado, Bundy escaped twice. The first time, he jumped out of a courthouse window but was recaptured. The second time, he used a hacksaw to cut a hole in his cell ceiling and escaped for several months. During his time on the run, Bundy committed the Chi Omega murders and killed Kimberly Leach. These crimes led to a massive manhunt. Bundy was arrested in February 1978 after a police officer noticed his stolen car. He was identified as the suspect in the Florida killings. Bundy's trial was highly publicized. He initially acted as his own attorney, which allowed him to manipulate the courtroom and delay proceedings. However, overwhelming evidence, including bite marks matching one of the Chi Omega victims, led to his conviction. Bundy was sentenced to death for the murders of the Chi Omega victims and Kimberly Leach. In the days leading up to his execution, Bundy confessed to 30 murders in an attempt to delay his death. He provided details about some of his crimes but remained evasive about others. Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair on January 24, 1989, at Florida State Prison. His final words were, "I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends." Legacy of Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy's case remains a subject of fascination due to his dual nature, a charming, intelligent man who was also a ruthless killer. His crimes highlighted the importance of forensic science, victim advocacy, and the dangers of underestimating criminals based on their appearance or demeanor. Bundy's story serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity and the importance of vigilance in the face of evil.
All right, buddies, let's dive into Ted's last interview.
You have accepted the forgiveness of Jesus Christ and are a follower and a believer in Him. Do you draw strength from that as you approach these final hours?
I do. I can't say that
It's going to be
being in the valley of the shadow of death is something that I've become all that accustomed to, and that I'm strong and nothing's bothering me. Listen, it's no fun. It's kind of lonely, and yet I have to remind myself that every one of us will go through this someday in one way or another, and countless millions who have walked this earth before us have. So this is just an experience which we all share. And, yeah, right on.